Okay, so today I have another Sony ICF-2010 sent in to me from Colorado this time. And it does come with a note. The customer says it's totally dead. Here is the note that is included. Hi Steve, just some notes. This is essentially a rewrite of my original email. If you have any questions, please feel free to call 303-6618. If your call comes in with just a number, I probably won't answer, but just leave a message and I'll call you back. My ICF-2010 probably has been dead for 10 years. After the main battery leaked, a minor leak, I think I disassembled it, cleaned it. I hope I didn't damage it as far as I said, but I'm not a techie and I'm an idiot without fear to tread. I know 2010s are prone to problems when the main board isn't manipulated with care, as the connection to the power supply is fragile. Who knows what damage I could have done to the board itself. I thought I was reasonably careful with it. The accessory batteries may have leaked too, can't remember again. I think I caught it early. Want to mention that I think the power supply is dead. It was left plugged into the wall for years and not the radio. I checked it with my tester to see if I was generating current and couldn't find anything. If it's dead, please send it back as I want to cut it open and see what's inside. If you have a working replacement among your extra parts, please include that with your fee when you send it back. If you buy a replacement, they are available on the internet. Please include the cost with your fee. Please take your time on this hoped for repair. The radio is an old friend that I'd like to have working again, but it's been waiting a long time for me to get to repairs. Thanks again for your help on this. Again, call or email with questions. Cheers, Bob. Okay, Bob, let's go ahead and get into this thing, see what happens. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop some computer batteries, as Sony calls it, the microprocessor batteries, back into it and see if I just get a clock display. Because with just the two AA batteries, I should get a clock. Okay, that's a very good sign. I do have a clock, and I can set the time on it, although the display is dimming for some reason. Yeah. Okay, probably needs the hardwire modification done to it. I can set the time on it, but as you saw, it was dimming. Okay, so the customer thinks the AC adapter is bad. Let's go ahead and test it real quick. Get a voltmeter up here. The customer's power supply is plugged into power right now, and so I'm just going to be doing a no load test on it right here. And I do see 5.3 volts. And on AC, I see 0 ripple. Now this is not loaded. So let me get my 117, which puts a 3000 ohm load on it, and we'll test that again. Okay, I have my 117 out, and it is in the low impedance mode, which applies a 3000 ohm load. It's not much, but it's something. And I still see negative 5.4 volts with the center being negative. Is that correct? And according to this, yes, the center is negative. So as far as I can tell, the adapter is working correctly. Let me grab one of my Sony ICF-2010s and we'll plug it in and see what happens. Okay, so I have one of my two Sony ICF-2010s. I actually have three of these, ones with a friend, kind of permanently donated for years. So I'm going to power this one on. And it is working. So I'm going to go ahead and plug the AC adapter into it over here on the left-hand side. It should stop and then restart if the adapter is good. And the adapter is perfectly fine. If I go to battery check, it's got a full scale. And I have this plugged into the Variac. I can run this down. And I start getting AC hum at about 80 volts input. So as far as I can tell, the AC adapter is working perfectly. So let's go ahead and plug the AC adapter into the customer's unit and see if I get anything in return for that. And it actually powered up. Pot needs cleaned. And it's actually working. But remember, the clock did blank out. So let me flex the chassis. Oh, yep, it just turned off. Yep, see that? There's the clock display, and if I flex the whole unit, it shuts off. Wow, I hope it's just that easy. So it's on, set the time at some random number, and I flex the chassis that way, no problem. If I flex the left-hand side down and the right-hand side up, it turns off, and then it resets the clock once again. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and pop this thing open. As far as I can tell, it's actually working. It receives an AM station. It receives an FM station. The radio portion is working. That is totally awesome. That means it doesn't have like a main oscillator issue. Everything's good there. I think we just have a battery connection issue more than anything. Okay, time to take it to bits. Oh, it's been worked on somewhere. Where is this? And according to this, it was in Vista, California, 92083, Radio West. Okay, well, let's see what kind of work or shoddy work they may have done to this unit. Maybe they did the mod already, I'm not sure. Every 2010 that came in to me, I automatically hardwired both the main battery and the computer battery, as Sony calls it. Anyhow, does this thing have a serial number in here? It should. And there it is, 332999. Wow, one away from 333000. And look at that, it still has the original protective cover, the blue cover over this, because normally these would be white, I do believe, like on my Sony right here. The cover's been removed. The lettering is white, and on this one the lettering is blue, so it has that little blue strip over it that you take off. Wow, this thing's a virgin when it comes to that. Okay, got the back off, and take a look at this. I cannot believe this. There is the FET that always fails on these things. The 2SK152 Q303. Look at that. An A7 diode soldered between, I guess, what's going to be the gate and the drain possibly. I have to look and see what I did, but that's not the interesting part. This looks factory. I don't see excess flux. Well, maybe a little bit on this lower resistor right there. I see a little bit of extra flux. But take a look at this over here. Somebody has added a couple of back-to-back 1N4148s. That's the same thing I do, but I do it over here on the FET itself instead of on the antenna jack. I guess the antenna jack might fly. But yeah, oh, batteries fell out. Gravity. But yeah, you can see a couple of 1N4148 diodes attached right there to the antenna jack itself. But I prefer to do it after this capacitor. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I should be doing it at the antenna jack. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Anyhow, let's go ahead and run some jumper wires. So we're going to jumper from, focus. Okay, so there is the negative lead, a bunch of fuzz on it. Somebody tried to clean it at one time and they kind of glued it in place. But see that lead right there, that silver lead? It actually disappears under the board and it just makes contact by pressure only. But little known, that lead right there actually makes connection with, see that pad right there? That freaking blue wire is right in the way. It won't brighten up, but see that pad right there on the circuit board? You can actually attach a lead to that pad and then bring it back over here and attach it to that terminal. It's effectively the same trace. It's ground right there. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, and we'll see if the cutout stops at that point. Okay, well, there is the addition of a lead to the negative battery terminal. There's the terminal right there. Still got a bunch of fuzz in it. I will clean that out, I promise. So under that small blue wire is a large blue wire, and if you follow that wire back, you can see it comes up here and then it loops back around. Then I went ahead and cleaned off the conformal coating from the circuit board and tacked that lead back down to it right there. So it has a very solid negative battery connection. And I got a couple of fibers out, but there's still just a couple trapped between the spring winds right there. So let's go ahead and pop some batteries back into it. I'm just going to temporarily put the back on it loosely. Okay, memory batteries are reinstalled. Let's go ahead and flex the chassis. You can hear it creaking, but look at that. The clock is staying solid. Do I need to apply power to it at the same time? Let's go ahead and try it. We'll put an AM station into it. Okay, adapter's plugged in, power's on, set the clock to a random time. Local station is tuned. And it's working. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick this up and flex it top to bottom, right and left. Oh, it's not cutting out at all. That's perfect. Okay, repair number 1 is finished. Now let's go ahead and do the exact same thing to the D-cell battery terminals. And then I'll bet you that's all this thing's going to need. It's in relatively good shape. Okay, because these newer terminals are actually made of stainless steel, they have very, very little iron content and they can't be soldered to. So what I do in this case is I've got a wire tin back and I've actually wrapped the wires around the core. I'm just going to go ahead and set that on here. And then here is the battery terminal itself. And by pushing it down like that, it's going to make contact. See the wire coming out there? It's going to make contact with the stainless steel plate and everything should be fine. I've done this on a couple of radios several years ago and everything's working great. But unfortunately, like I said, these have the very, very low iron content to the terminals and they cannot be soldered upon. Okay, so I have the leads attached to both the positive and the negative. And so I'm just going to add some fresh solder to this terminal right here, which is where the pin actually goes. Then we'll just tack it on just a little bit out of the way. Just like that. Solder is cool, we can let go now. And we'll move over to the positive side. Okay, there is the positive side, and it looks like it's never really been making any kind of contact whatsoever, because this is where it would attach right there. And there's barely any markings on that whatsoever. So I'm just going to go ahead, add some fresh solder there, and then we'll just go ahead and solder this lead down right there. Just like that. Now we can put the back back on it. Back, and put a couple D-cell, 3 D-cell batteries into it and check complete operation. Okay, there is the negative lead attached to the D-cell battery holder. Yeah, used a bit too much heat, but that's what it takes to get the solder to stick to this terminal. Okay, here we go, the moment of truth. Let's go ahead and put a random time on the clock and let's power this thing on. And look at that, nothing plugged in over here.
Well, this guy's a long-time baseball player.
And it is working perfectly. Look at that. I don't have the antenna extended, but it's working great. Does sync work?
Well, you know,
Yep, perfect. Put it on slow. It's locking up perfectly, upper and lower.
Chris, you need to understand. Yeah,
If I get too far off, then you can hear the heterodyne.
Guys under 20. Put list.
There it is, locked in.
There's all kinds of guys under 25 years old who are ballers. I got 15 on my backs. They don't got 5.
Okay, anyhow, it's working. Let's go ahead and give it the twist test. Nothing cutting out. Let's go ahead and get it back up on the station.
You got time? Who's got time? 4 managers fired already this year. 4.
Give it the tap test.
Of your 30 managers lost their job this year. How many are going to lose their
I'm happy
job
with it.
this season?
I am very happy with this unit. Just a very, very simple repair on the Sony ICF-2010. Just need to have the battery terminals, both the memory, computer batteries, as Sony calls them, and the main batteries hardwired to the main board. Anyhow, that's going to be it. I'm going to ship this thing back to the customer. His AC adapter works perfectly. The radio is working excellent. Go ahead and leave me a question, a comment, a concern down below, good or bad. I do try to respond to the comments when I have time. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button and like this video. It really does help my channel grow. I really do appreciate it. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at NorCal715. You can email me, NorCal715videos@gmail.com. That is the best way to contact me. Please be patient. I do have a full-time job, and I do these repairs in my spare time. Remember, with your help, we can try to keep these things out of the landfill, out of the recycle bin, and out of the e-waste facility. Everyone, thank you for making it to the end of this video. I really do appreciate it. Stand by for possible bloopers. Have a great day. Bye-bye. So I got it sitting in a really weird angle right now because it's about 9 o'clock at night. And it's actually picking up KFI 640 out of Los Angeles, which is almost exactly 500 miles away from me. The propagation is rolling tonight. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Bye-bye. So I went ahead and grabbed my second Sony ICF-2010 because I keep them together. And I turned this thing on. Look at the display. Oh, those memory batteries are practically dead. How is this thing even working? Oh wow, they're Energizer lithium batteries as well. Man, I must have put those in years and years ago. Well, it says they expire in 2022, so that's now. All right, well, going back in, a couple of Costco alkaline batteries. When do these things expire? March 2030. Well, I got a couple minutes. Maybe this radio will outlast me. Oh my God, I haven't got worker batteries in forever, but they're still good. They're not leaking, so we're gonna let it fly. Okay, all better. Works. Works.
Week 0, and we can be sure that you love this game.
There's no marquee factor between Wyoming and Illinois. I'm going to go under 44.5 Wyoming and Illinois week 0.
I like the handicap. I like it. 44.5 is a key number. Well, 44 is a
Okay,
key number.
back into storage for emergency use only. Thanks for watching.
30 seconds.
Okay, so I have another Sony ICF-2010 that came in. This thing is totally dead, according to the customer, and it does come with a note. Just some notes. This is essentially a rewrite of my original email. If you have any questions, please feel free. Oh, shoot. Doggone it. Check, check, check. Okay, here we go. Second intro. Let's try this one straight, you dumbass. Okay, so I have another Sony ICF-2010. This one, according to the customer, is totally dead. And it comes with a note. Hi, Steve. Just some notes. This is essentially a rewrite of my original email. If you have any questions, please feel free. Effing really right now? Don't use that one again, dumbass. Has the customer's phone number. Dumbass. Okay, third try, hopefully the correct email. Please feel free to contact me. I know 2010s are prone to problems when it comes to the main power board. I know 2010s are prone to problems with when the main power board... Okay, let's try it again, dumbass. I caught it early. It was left plugged into the wall and... But little... There is the positive terminal of the computer batteries, the 3-volt AA batteries, and it follows this purple lead, and it kind of goes, wait, nope, sorry. Whoops, my mistake. Let's take that again. That's the positive. I want the negative. And I'm just going to hold it in place while I flip it over here. Oh, definitely got to zoom out. Wow, that's way wrong.